bring in my colleague, Leland Vittert. Leland, I know you're getting in place for us now. Breaking news. It happened. People weren't sure whether it would happen. People didn't know if we'd get a decision next month. And here it is, unprecedented. A former president of the United States, Leland, is being indicted.
Yeah, and that means we're in totally uncharted territory in every sense of the word. So from this point forward this evening, now it's 5:48 in New York, the idea that we're going to get any kind of meaningful news beyond the vote seems unlikely. There's a chance we'll have an Alvin Bragg news conference or something like that, but has not been scheduled yet. We're in uncharted territory. So anybody who tells you they know what's going to happen next is lying, because nobody knows. Donald Trump doesn't know. It doesn't appear Alvin Bragg knows what exactly is going to happen next. We had heard there were some planning meetings preliminarily between the Secret Service potentially and law enforcement in New York planning for this eventuality. Is it that the Secret Service brings Donald Trump to a New York courthouse? What happens inside that courthouse? Is he put in handcuffs? Is he not? Is he fingerprinted? Is there a mugshot that becomes public? These are all questions right now. And there is no answers that we know of right now. Those who know, at least, if they do know, are not speaking just on the very nitty-gritty of what happens over the coming days and hours. We also don't know whether these are felony charges or whether these are misdemeanor charges. In order to indict a felony charge in a payoff scheme of this type requires evidence of another crime. We also don't know what's changed, because over the past 10 or so days, we've heard, and there's been solid reporting, that the case against Donald Trump continued to weaken based on testimony the grand jury heard and also based on some documents. Trump's lawyers were very confident. As of a couple of hours ago, they were saying that they felt as though Trump had beaten this. Donald Trump himself, who predicted his arrest a week ago Tuesday, predicted 10 days ago he was going to be arrested, on Saturday said he thought he had beaten it and Alvin Bragg was going to drop the charges. So not only unprecedented, but also extremely unexpected. And I think that the most important thing at this moment is to acknowledge all the things we don't know. And Blake very smartly pointed out that Donald Trump is almost assuredly going to be in Iowa and New Hampshire, possibly on debate stages, as the leading presidential candidate right now for the Republican primary, while under indictment in New York City. So in terms of what's next, it's very difficult to know how things are going to work out over the coming days and the implications of it. We know Donald Trump isn't going to be silent about it. And if history proves that every time he has been either indicted or impeached, every time he has been impeached and every time he can rally supporters around a feeling that he is being attacked unfairly, as his supporters will undoubtedly say, it helps him in the poll numbers. It helps him with his fundraising. And to a certain extent, and we have seen this, it helps him with independence, because there's a lot of people who may not like Donald Trump, but who less like the idea of criminal charges against a former president of the United States that are undoubtedly political in nature and are about a situation that happened 7 years ago and that at least the Department of Justice, if not others, passed on indicting on.
Okay.
And how that happens and how the political fallout of that, boy, we're not even in the first inning.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.